Leo, welcome to your weekly tarot reading for July 18th to the 25th. Let's get started and see what messages we have for Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the week ahead. Now keep in mind these are general readings and may not resonate for everyone, so take the messages that do and leave the rest behind. Also, watch your other placements to receive all your messages. Okay, Leo. What is the energy around the week ahead for Leo? Oh, that's way too many cards. Let's do that again. What is the energy around the week ahead for Leo? Okay, still got a few cards here. Let's take these ones, though. We got 3. Great Big Love, Wish Upon a Star, and Time Machine. Interesting. Okay, so those are the 3 sort of energies around your week. 3 is more than any other sign has received. I think everyone got 2 or 1. Now, let's start with Time Machine. That's card number 3. And this Time Machine is all about the idea of these lessons that have already been learned in the past and sort of the idea of not getting stuck there. So Leo, there's been some action in the past for you, and it may be that these old hurts are revealing new solutions for you, but that doesn't mean that you don't feel uncomfortable right now. I feel like right now that you're asking yourself, what can I learn from this situation? What did this past experience teach me about myself? What can I do differently now that I've had that experience? What would be something I could try that would be different? Not because you're judging yourself or you're being critical, but just because you're learning about yourself through your experiences. And this is a time where we're guided to develop a new story, where we're sort of using our old foundation to develop a new narrative about our perspective, our beliefs. And it's all coming from the experiences that you've had. Now, the next card is the Great Big Love card, which is an interesting one, as the name suggests. This is really a time where there is this guidance to love without condition. So this idea of unconditional love, and that love can heal all wounds. So if you're dealing with old stories and you see this Great Big Love card, that is telling me today that love is the way and it's the only answer for you. And that there is this idea here that you're being invited to explore love without any conditions and without things needing to be perfect. And this concept of unconditional love and the surrender to it will heal your old wounds. So that's a very interesting piece of the puzzle here for your reading. Now, Wish Upon a Star, card 39, in relation to these other cards, well, actually separate first, is this idea of what are your intentions? And so when you take this card on its own, it's the idea of really examining your intentions. What are you daydreaming about? What are the sort of things in your imagination? What do you wish for? What are you intending? You know, it's this idea of focusing on the what and the why. The what and the why behind our actions, right? Not the how, just the what and the why. And tying it into these other cards makes me think that right now Leo is examining their past to understand the lessons, right? Trying to understand the wisdom from the past experiences and realizing that if your intentions are far from love, are far from unconditional love, then you may find yourself feeling stuck. You might find yourself sacrificing something. You might find yourself not trusting things as you would if you were looking at things through the eyes of this unconditional love. So very interesting, Leo. You're really being guided to understand things through the idea of unconditional love. And for some of you, this might involve love indeed. Or, interesting, there's the Seven of Swords. So it's this idea of don't fool yourself. Really understand your intentions. Really understand what motivates you. Really understand what your what and your why. What are those things that motivate you? Don't deceive yourself. Seven of Swords. Really being honest with yourself and bringing love into a situation where there may have been an absence of it. You may have felt very disappointed, rejected, or even just remorseful or having regrets about something in the past, and you haven't been able to let it go. And so that tells me that, again, you are learning from a past experience right now, but don't let the lesson be, well, I'll never love again, or I'll never be open to love again. Make sure you're understanding for, your truth about this. What is motivating you? What is your what? What is your why? Don't worry about the how, but just focus on understanding what your true intentions are here and trying to release that energy of being stuck. There's the Hermit. I knew the Hermit was going to show up when I saw the time machine. This solidifies it. You're definitely being guided right now to really examine things as far as, not with judgment though, just with love and compassion and a lot of empathy for yourself, to try to understand, what did this past experience try to teach me about myself? Period. Right? Not why did that person do what they did to me? Not how come I don't deserve love? No, this idea of what was that experience designed to teach me? And then to surrender it. To get distance from any thoughts. You've got the 6 and the 7 of Swords here. Don't try to fool yourself. Really get distance from anything that feels really limited or a lack of love, because you're really being guided towards unconditional love. We see here the 4 of Cups. You've got the 4 and the 5 of Cups. You've got the 6 and the 7 of Swords. I can't help but think you're really moving quickly towards understanding things on a deeper level. This 4 of Cups in reverse on the bottom of the deck, I can't help but think that your mood may be shifted towards this idea that you've missed out on something, and that you can't see the opportunity ahead because you're so focused on this past opportunity that you feel like you missed out on something. You feel like and there's the Moon card and Justice. Very interesting. It's almost like you're trying to understand the virtue of something, but you're judging it too much. It's almost like you need to just look at it through the eyes of unconditional love instead of judgment, scrutiny, criticism. There's so much beneath the surface to understand here, and I feel like there's a part of you that may not even understand that there are still options ahead, but it's the path of transformation for you. You've got the 7 and the 7 of Cups and Pentacles. You've really got a choice to make here. You've got 3 sevens. How are you choosing to organize your narrative? How do you choose the options ahead? And which path are you choosing to invest yourself on? This is a moment of transformation. We see the Death card. I see that the Hermit and Justice, you're really trying to figure things out. We've got the Queen of Swords in reverse on the bottom of the deck now. So there is this, almost this, you're leaning towards feeling sort of bitter about something instead of understanding that this was all designed to teach you something, not to trap you. This wasn't designed to punish you. This was designed to teach you something, and then the idea is to let it go and move on to the next experience wiser and having had experience in this area, and remembering that healing and experiencing life is not a linear path. It's sort of more of a spiral, in the idea that sometimes we come back around to things to understand it from a different perspective, or to understand it from a deeper level. And I can't help but think, Leo, that right now you're really being guided to have a look at the past again, to try to see it through the eyes of love, and to try to see how to sort of release something that is keeping you stuck, to sort of move forward without knowing the full picture. which is that Seven of Cups, and to choose the direction that you want to invest yourself in, Seven of Pentacles, that feels like it serves you, all with the idea of letting love guide you. Really knowing your motivations and seeing, does this action get me closer to what I desire? Does this fall in line with my intentions, or am I just being blocked by fear? Right? Because we have that moon in reverse, which is the ultimate card of being blocked by fear and feeling really separate. And again, that idea of linear thinking that can become kind of a pitfall for us, because when we think in a linear way, it's very easy to say, well, I failed, because if everything just moves from A to Z and it's not circular, then it's very easy to be like, I missed an opportunity, or I failed at something, or I regret, and I feel regret and remorse, instead of seeing things more of a spiral, which is, I think, why you're seeing Time Machine here, because you're being guided to sort of revolve around something, to see something, to see the wisdom of that experience, so that you can move into the next experience, like I said, a little bit wiser, and having a new foundation of unconditional love as your premise, not this feeling of bitterness that comes with regret and remorse and feeling like you missed out on something. You know, I almost think that it's impossible for us to miss out on things, because we're constantly being guided to understand ourselves through this reflective nature of seeing ourselves in situations, right? And so it's interesting. It's like you feel like you're focused too much on cause and effect, you know, and maybe that will be the pathway to get you to understand unconditional love, that there is this cause and effect, this causation that we face. You know, every action has this reaction, and there's always this idea of cause and effect, but sometimes, again, that can lead to really, really being hard on yourself. And almost this Seven of Swords, I think, is here because it's like you're lying to yourself. You're being overly critical with yourself and not loving. Like, we need to put some unconditional love in this equation, Leo, because it's like, I feel like otherwise you're going to end up having to sort of experience this lesson again and again and again until you sort of can understand your true intentions. The you know, like, being grateful and moving through things with this idea of unconditional love will feel lighter. You will feel more like you understand your honest and the honest intentions, what really motivates you. Very interesting reading for the fire signs this week. The Aries reading was very interesting too. And this is all leading to a big transformation for you, Leo. Very interesting. Let's see, to close your reading, what is the final guidance here for Leo? Control issues. Yeah, you got to let go. Utilize your God-given strength and power instead of fearing that others may be trying to control you. I really feel like releasing any kind of control is going to be critical for you. And on the bottom of the deck, we see value your self-worth, unconditional love. It's so true. You are God's precious gem. I feel like you're on the path of transformation here, and that really understanding the wisdom of your past experiences through the question of what is this experience teaching me about myself is going to be really, really helpful for you. All right, we're going to leave it at that. Thank you so much for joining me for this reading, Leo. If it's resonated and you would like, please subscribe, like, comment, and share. It would be greatly appreciated. And if you would like a personal reading, you can find the link for that in the description below. I'm sending you so much love and light, my friends. We'll see you again very soon for another reading. Take care.